Salvete omnes. This is exercise B of chapter 48, focusing on dependent subjunctive clauses, result clauses, both adverbial and substantive result clauses. We are to translate these Latin sentences into English, parsing where necessary in order to read properly and translate correctly. Number 1. Tel tanta vi coniacerunt, ut duo de vigenti ex hostibus interficerentur. So tella from tellum neuter, weapons, offensive weapons, throwing weapons like spears. So weapons, and it's going to be either nominative or accusative plural neuter, and we don't know whether it's going to be the nominative subject or the accusative direct object yet. So keep both options in mind. Tanta, tanta, with a macron over the final a, from tantus a the correlative of quantus a If quantus, that is quantity, has to do with how big, how great, what size. Tantus is so big, so great, of such a size. It's an adjective modifying the noun. We, from wis, feminine. This is force or might. In the plural, it's vires, virium, viribus, vires, viribus. So it goes we, wim, we, vires, virium, viribus, vires, viribus. Declines like a third declension and is forever confused with the second declension, viri, masculine. This is the ablative form. Has the adjective tanta agreeing with it. This is an ablative of means. So weapons, by means of so great a force, such fight. It's the root of the word violence, might, power. Coniacerunt, third person plural, perfect active, indicative of conicio, conicere, conieci, coniectus. Not just to yacio, iacere, ieci, iactus, throw, but cum yacio, conicio, to really throw it, to really hurl it, give it a good chuck. So tella coniacere. So either the weapons did the throwing, or they, some third person plural, they threw, hurled, cast the tella, the weapons, making the weapons the direct object. I'm going to go with that one. That one tends to make more sense. So they cast their weapons tanta we by means of such force, with such force, that begs and screams to be asked, how great a force? Answer. Adverb clause, adverb result clause, with the result that ut duo de vigenti, duo to, de, from, vigenti 20, that's 18, ex hostibus. When you have numerals, we often use ex or de plus the ablative to show the partitive idea instead of the usual partitive genitive. So 18 of the enemy. 18 out of the enemy. We have the group of enemy, and we're going to take 18 out of them. So 18 out of the enemy, interficerentur. We have interficio, interficere, interfeci, interfectus, meaning to kill, slay, or murder. This is the third person plural, imperfect passive, subjunctive, because we have secondary sequence introduced by a perfect tense, past tense verb in the main clause. That will get us an imperfect subjunctive if the action is contemporaneous or subsequent in the dependent clause, and it is. So they cast their weapons with such force that, with the result that 18 of the enemy were killed. 18 of the enemy were slain. Optime, secunda, sententia secunda. Necesse erat, ut iter maximum illo die facerent, ut ad castra ante solis ocassum pervenierent. 2 oots. No one can live at that speed. All right, necesse erat. It was necessary. Remember, necesse is neuter. It was necessary. What was necessary? What was necessary? What is answered by a noun. What is that? It's a tree. What is that? It's a book. What was necessary? This clause, this noun clause, this substantive noun clause. It's not just a single noun, but it's a whole clause with a subject and verb and everything. So it was necessary. What was necessary? That, with the result that. This is a substantive result clause. It was necessary that iter, maximum, iter, itineris, neuter, route, journey, march, maximum, the superlative of magnus aum, not just big, but maximus aum, biggest, greatest, largest. Looks like it's neuter, agreeing with iter, maybe, we'll see. Illo, die, illo. It's going to be the ablative singular, masculine or neuter. And it modifies da from dies a masculine. It's a fifth declension. So it's illo is modifying this. Ablative of time, when. Ablative of time, when. The ablative is used with time words to indicate when the action occurred. So when did the facerent happen? Illo die, on that day. Which one? You know which one. Illo die, on that one. That one, you know which one. Facerent, third person plural, imperfect active of facio, facere, feci, factus, facerent. So we have imperfect tense as the main verb, so we're in secondary sequence. Imperfect subjunctive in the dependent subjunctive clause. Remember, this is a substantive clause of result. So this is actually acting as the subject of what was necessary. It was necessary. What's the it? What's the it that was necessary? Oh, it's this thing. That they make, remember that iter facere is an idiom which means to make a journey, to march, to travel, and to travel maximum, probably something like the furthest distance. If we're in the military, we might say something like a forced march, meaning a quickened pace, the fastest pace. So it was necessary to make the quickest route, the greatest route, the fastest route on that day, or to travel the most on that day. How about that? It was necessary to travel the most on that day, to travel very far on that day. Maximum, maximum, the superlative. This is actually the subject of the erat. Traveling the most on that day was necessary. It was necessary with the result that they traveled the most on that day. Why? Why do they have to travel the most on that day? Oh, another oot. This is a purpose clause. It's giving the purpose of why they have to do this. Why? Adverbial purpose clause introduced by oot. Ut ad castra, ad plus the accusative motion towards castra, castrorum. Always neuter, always plural, means camp. To the camp. Ante. Ante is a preposition meaning before. Goes with the accusative. Solis is not accusative, it's sol solis, masculine genitive of sun, the star in the sky, the big old one. Ocassum, ocassum. So ante goes with ocassum, and then solis is a genitive that modifies ocassum, nestled snugly in between them. So before the ocassum, ocassus us, it's a feminine noun. I'm sorry, it's a masculine noun. Ocassus us masculine. It means occasion, a setting. Literally, in a casus is a falling. In ob casus, a falling down, a setting. It can mean a dying. It's occasion, an event. Here it means the setting of the solus, the sun. Setting of sol, the sun. Before the setting of the sun, in English we can just say sunset, before sunset. Before sunset, to the camp, at the camp, pervenirent, pervenire. Third person plural, imperfect active subjunctive of pervenia, pervenire, perveni, perventus. So that they might arrive at the camp before the setting of the sun. It was necessary to It is necessary to travel the most on that day so that they might arrive at camp before the setting of the sun, before sunset. Remember that pervenio takes either ad or in plus the accusative of motion towards. Optime, tertia, sententia tertia, tantus timor mortis omnes captivos occupaverat, ut ex castris excederent. Tantus timor, tantus aon, tam magnus, so big, so great. Timor, timoris, masculine, fear. So great a fear, such fear. How great a fear? Quantus timor? How great was that fear? Tantus timor, so great was that fear. Mortis, of death, fear of death. Now, mors mortis, feminine, death. What kind of genitive is that? That's right, very good. That's an objective genitive. Objective genitive. The death is the object of the fear. Fear of death. Death is not possessing the fear. It's not death's fear. Death apostrophe s is fear. It's the fear of death or the fear towards death. The fear of or towards death. So great a fear of death. Omnes, from omnis, omne, all, every, agreeing with. Captivos, from captivus, e, masculine. Accusative plural masculine. Both of these are the direct object. All captives, every captive. Occupaverat, third person singular, pluperfect active indicative of occupo, occupare, occupavi, occupatus. So, this is our subject because it's in the nominative case. So great a fear of death had seized, taken hold of all the captives, every captive, every prisoner. Well, how great was that fear of death? Adverb clause, adverbial result clause, with the result that ex castris excederent, that they left from the camp. Oh, cool, they could just sort of walk out of there, huh? They're prisoners, but not really. Interesting. Notice the ex preposition and then on the verb as well. Ex castris, you could have just said e castris. I'm not sure why the X is there. Excederent, maybe to highlight the on the preposition on the verb. Excederent is third plural imperfect active subjunctive of excedo, excedere, excessi, excessus. Remember discedo and excedo and ab eo? Those are intransitive verbs. So they take a preposition plus the ablative of separation. Transitive verbs take the accusative, like relinquo is a transitive verb. It takes the accusative direct object of what you leave or leave behind, what you quit. Quarta, sententia quarta, tale sunt conditiones pacis, ut hostes nobis quindecim annos pecuniam daturissent. So tales sunt conditiones. Tales, that comes from talis a. It is the correlative of qualis a. Qualis is quality. What kind? What sort? What quality is it? Answer, talis. Of such a kind, of such a quality. So great a quality. So, tales sunt conditiones sunt. There's our linking verb, third person plural, present active subjunctive, sum esse fui futurus, conditiones, from condicio, conditionis feminine, meaning condition. You hopefully can see that word there, right there, conditione, condition. It's cum dico, to speak with, a condition. So it's either going to be the nominative or accusative, plural feminine. Tales agrees with it, and pacis is a modifying genitive. So genitive of possession, modifying conditiones, conditions of peace. Or you could just say genitive of material, conditions are made out of peace, concerning peace. Pax, pacis, feminine, peace. Such are the conditions of peace. Or you could say the conditions of peace are of such a quality, tales, of such a kind, such a quality. They're of such a sort. Of what sort are they? How are they? With the result that ut hostes nobis, that the hostes, hostis masculine, a singular An enemy is hostis. Plural, that would be hostes, the enemy. The enemy would be plural hostes. An enemy is going to be hostis. So hostes, either nominative or accusative plural masculine. Nobis, dative or ablative of nos, nostrum nobis, nos nobis, us, we, us. Quindecim is 15, indeclinable adjective. Annos, annos is accusative, plural masculine of annos e, masculine, year. Time word, so accusative with a time word generally indicates extent of time. For how long an action occurred. And because we have the indeclinable adjective very close to it, right next to it, I'm going to guess that this is a time period of 15 years. Something happened for the time span of 15 years. For the accusative of these 15 years, this action went on, or it will go on. Pecuniam. Pecuniam is the accusative singular feminine of pecunia, I, feminine, money. Probably going to be the direct object of the verb do, dare, dedi. Datus, daturi, sint. That's the future active participle with the nominative plural masculine ending and the third person plural present active subjunctive of sum esse fui futurus as a helping verb. So daturi sint is going to be like a active periphrastic. So they are about to give, or you could just say they will give. They are ready to give. So the conditions of peace are such that the enemy are about to give. They are ready to give, prepared to give. They're on the verge, the cusp of giving pecunia, money. Hey, how nice. Nobis, dative, indirect object, to us. For how long? For a period of, or you could just say for 15 years. Accusative of extent of time, for 15 years. Quinta, sententia quinta. Consul efficiat, ut ille senator malus ab urbe discedat. Consul efficiat. So consul, nominative singular masculine of consul, consulus masculine, subject, consul. Very good. Efficiat, third person singular, future active indicative of efficio, efficere, effeci, effectus. Efficio means to bring about, to cause an effect. So to bring something about to the point where you cause something else to happen, you create an effect. To bring about, to make happen. So the consul will bring it about, will make it happen. Ut, with the result that, what will he make happen? What is that thing he's going to make happen? That's going to be a noun clause, a substantive noun clause, but it's a result, substantive clause of result. Up here in quarta, sententia quarta, we had an adverbial clause of result because it was telling us of what quality are the conditions. How are the conditions? They're such that the enemy will have to do this. So the consul will bring it about. What will the consul bring about? With the result that it's the object. This clause is the object of this verb. That ille senator malus, ille, from ille, illa, illud, nominative singular masculine. It's the subject. Actually, it's modifying senator, so it is going with the subject. It means that, over there, yonder. Demonstrative pronoun, here it's acting like an adjective, agreeing with the noun senator, senatoris masculine, meaning senator, an elder. This is the subject, nominative form. And then malus, from malus bad, evil, wicked, also agrees with senator. That, over there, yonder, evil senator, that wicked senator. The consul will bring it about, will make it so that that evil senator, yon evil senator, that one right there. Ab urbe, ab, plus the ablative separation, moving away from the orbs, orbis feminine, from the city. Discedat, third person singular, present, active, subjunctive of discedo, discedere, discessi, discessus. Remember, like excedo, these are intransitive verbs. I take a preposition plus the ablative of separation, a preposition plus the ablative of separation. We tend to put ax with excedo and ab or de with discedo. So he may leave from the city. This is what the consul will bring about, that yonder wicked senator may leave, will leave, leaves from the city. The consul will bring it about, will make it so that yon evil senator may leave from the city, leaves from the city, will leave from the city. Remember, there is no future subjunctive, so if these clauses sound like they have a future indicative in them, that's going to translate into the present subjunctive in Latin, because there is no future subjunctive. Sexta, sententia sexta, virtus peritum nostrorum tanta erat, ut vinci non possent. So virtus, virtutus, feminine, valor, manly martial courage, manliness, vir, the root is vir. Yes, it is a feminine noun because why not? Virtus, feminine, this is the subject, nominative form. Peditum, from pedes, peditus, masculine, means a foot soldier. In the plural, it can mean infantry. So this is the genitive plural version of infantry. So genitive of possession, they are possessing the virtus, the infantry's valor, the valor of the infantry. Whose infantry? Nostrorum, from noster, nostra, nostrum, belonging to us, of our infantry, genitive plural masculine as well as peditum. So our infantry's valor, the valor of our infantry, tanta erat was, tanto saum was so great, so big. How great was it? With the result that adverbial result clause, vinci non possent, they were not able to be defeated. So non possent, imperfect, third person plural, imperfect active subjunctive of possum, posse, potui, because we have imperfect tense main verb, secondary sequence, imperfect subjunctive. Vinci is the present passive infinitive of vinco, vincere, vici, victus. Remember, that is a third conjugation verb. The active infinitive will be vincere, and the passive will be vinci. Like ducere and duci. That's right, I wanted to say ducere. So, septima, sententia septima. Accidit ut nema miteretur, qui nobis auxilio esset. So, accidit. You can't tell just by looking at accidit whether it's present or perfect. So, you check out the dependent subjunctive verbs. If you have an imperfect subjunctive, like you do here, this has got to be in the past tense, so this will be perfect. If this were a present subjunctive, it's not, then this would be present tense, and we would be in primary sequence, but we're not. So it happened with the result that, what happened? What thing happened? This. This happened. No one was sent. It happened that no one was sent. Well, why? Why was no one sent? Well, for what purpose would no one be sent? Who was to be an aid for us? A double dative. So you have a dative of purpose for the purpose of being an auxilio, an aid. That's the dative of auxilium, auxili neuter, for being an aid, to be an aid. And then we'll have a dative of reference, hence the term double dative. There are two. Nobis, dative of reference. You're going to be an aid to someone. You're going to be a help for someone. And then we have the imperfect subjunctive of sum esse fui futurus, third person singular. So it happened that no one was sent who was to be aid to us, who was to be a help to us. We have here an adjectival purpose clause, who was to be, for the purpose of being. It happened that no one was sent for the purpose of being a help to us. It happened that no one was sent to be a help to us. So we have, once again, two subjunctive clauses like we do in secunda, sententia secunda. We have a substantive result clause, and then an adjectival / relative purpose clause. Fantastic. The antecedent of qui is, of course, nemo, no homo, no person, ne homo, no one. Nemo, no one. Octava, sententia octava. Meus frater tam validos est, ut tuum gladium frangere possit. So meus frater tam validos est, quam validus est, ut tuum gladium frangere possit. Ooh. So meus frater, my brother, frater, fratres, masculine brother, my brother, nominative singular masculine subject. Tom is an adverb that modifies adjectives, other adverbs. Here it's modifying the adjective validus, Tom validus. How strong? Its correlative is quam. How strong? Quam validus? Quam validus est? Tom validus. How strong is he? Tom, so strong. My brother is so strong. How strong is he? Ut, with the result that, ut, tuum gladium frangere possit. He is able. Possum posse potui. This is the present subjunctive. You can see sit right there. Present subjunctive of possum. He is right now able to, complementary infinitive frangere, to break your sword. My brother is so strong that he's able to break your sword. Oh, wow. I'm quaking in my sandals. So tuum gladium, this is the direct object of the complementary infinitive frangere. Optime, nona, sententia nona, errant in hostium castris, tot milites, ut satis cibi et aquae non esset. So errant, so existential, errant, third person plural imperfect. There were. In hostium castris, in plus the, wait, that's the genitive of hostis masculine. Look, it's an I stem. Hostium. Okay, this is the ablative. Castris is the ablative of castraorum, always neuter, always plural. In the camp, hostium, that's the genitive, of the enemy. There were, in the camp of the enemy, tot milites, so many soldiers. The correlative of tot is quote. Quote milites errant. How many soldiers were there? With the result that ut satis cibi et aquae non esset, that satis cibi, remember satis takes a partitive genitive, enough of food and enough of water. Satis shows up in the nominative and the accusative. Both forms are satis. Satis is also neuter. So enough of food and enough of water, non esset, and is the subject of esset. There was not enough of food and water. In English, we just say there is not enough food and water. We don't say enough of. We just say enough. There were so many soldiers in the enemy camp that there was not enough food and water. Demum, optime, decima, sententia decima. Tantam multitudinem equitum habemus, ut omnes hostes nos oppugnare dubitant. Tantam, from tantus a correlative quantus a Quantus, so how big? How great? Of what quantity? Tantus a so big, so great, such a quality. Sorry, such a quantity. Multitudinem, from multituda, multitudinous feminine, a large number. You can see multus a multitude, great number. Equitum, from equus, equitus, masculine, a knight, as in a horseman, person on horseback, person on an equus masculine. So this is the genitive plural version. So genitive plural because it's a third declension. So a tantam multitudinem, those are both accusative, singular, feminine, probably is going to be the direct object. So great a multitude of what? A multitude of cavalry, of horsemen, of knights. So great a number of knights, a multitude of knights, habemus, first person plural, present active indicative of habeo, habere, habui, habitus, to have. We possess so great a number of knights. So great a number of knights we possess. Yeah, how great? Quantum multitudinem. How great is the number that you possess? Ut omnes hostes nos oppugnare dubitant, with the result that omnes hostes, omnes from omnes all every, looks like it modifies hostes from hostes masculine, enemy, either going to be the subject or the direct object. Nos, nos could also be either the subject or the direct object. Nos from nobis, nobis. Oppugnare is the complementary infinitive. Going to go with dubitant. Dubito, dubitare, dubitavi, dubitatus, but the complementary infinitive means to hesitate to. So this is going to be hesitate. We are in primary sequence because of the present tense, so we have present subjunctive here, and it's third person plural. So the enemies are the ones who are doing the action, the verb, with the result that all the enemies, every enemy, hesitates to attack the direct object, us. We have so great a number of knights that every enemy hesitates to attack us. Optime, make sure you review those result clauses, adverbial result clauses, and substantive result clauses. You are now ready to move on to exercise C.